Welcome back into the Bulldog Blitz. I have the privilege to be joined by Mike Ellis, who's a sports writer for the Butler Collegian. Mike, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, let's start with the men's basketball team. Back here, our fourth season on the Blitz, and the men's basketball team still going strong, 20-4 now. Let's go back to last Thursday. They took on Detroit here at home. Now, Detroit plays them very closely back up in Detroit.
Certainly.
It was a game that went into overtime. Back here, still came down to the wire.
Well, unfortunately, I had to sprint from Fairbanks to get over there to catch the last 10 minutes of the game, but another great example of the team's resiliency, perseverance that should really help them come March. Ron Norwood stepped up big down the stretch. He scored 6 points in the final 5 minutes and really helped to lift the Bulldogs to victory. And again, they're now 6-1 in games decided by 5 points or less, and that is going to come in handy, certainly, in March.
Oh, and Gordon Hayward also chipping in 18 points and 10 boards, and he has just been a steady rock all season long where you can count on.
I mean, he's definitely showing a lot of promise, a lot of development. I'm not quite sure if we should start talking NBA yet, but I really believe he's showing a lot of progress. Rebounding extremely well, and that is something that makes you think of maybe number 33. I don't want to start talking about those two yet, but Larry Bird was very underrated in that capacity.
It's a bold prediction there from you, Mike.
I am not going to go on the record of comparing the two. I'm just making a subtle comparison.
Sure. Well, then they take on Wright State on Saturday. Still another victory for them. And you have to be so proud of these guys. And you look at the shooting percentage, 70% from the field. And when you got that going, it's really hard to lose a game.
Yeah, they came within one field goal of breaking the team record. They shot extremely well. If they would have made one more shot, they would have broken that record. And, it was nice to see a visitors section, too. Wright State definitely came in and supported their team well, and the game was tied at 29. And then all of a sudden, here come the Dogs, 6-0 run right before halftime, and that really catapulted them to victory in the second half. The one thing I thought that maybe a little disconcerting, 17 turnovers after 21 the game before, and if they're turning the ball over and upwards of 15, 20 times, they're going to struggle. So they need to take better care of the basketball.
And in that game, it was a big day for Willie Veasley, who hit 9 of 9 from the field, a career-high 19 points, and just really stepped up big for this team.
Willie Veasley, just a senior leader, 9 for 9 from the field again, as you said, and he shoots a good percentage, and he just comes through bigger in the big games. His star seems to shine brighter in the big moments, and we just see time and time again these games that come down to the wire, and it seems like Veasley is always doing something to contribute, whether it's grabbing a key rebound, making a key save, hitting a big three-point shot to really get the team going in the midst of a really tight ball game. He's just been a wonderful senior leader for the team and a great fourth contributor.
Coming up, you've got a road trip to Ohio where you'll take on Youngstown State and Cleveland State, two big road games. And what do you expect? I mean, they've got to remain undefeated.
Well, with all due respect to Youngstown State, I don't really see them posing too much of a threat. They did a nice job switching their defenses around last time they came here, but unfortunately it didn't amount to anything. They still surrendered 94 points, and I'm sure they're going to, at home, have a little more confidence, motivation from their home crowd, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. As for Cleveland State, they're playing better than anyone else in the conference right now, aside from Butler. They're actually the only team still in contention for the conference title, technically, besides us. But I think we are going to wrap that up soon. But I think Cleveland State has an excellent chance of pulling an upset at home. They're going to be very motivated, and they are battle-tested. They played some very good teams, such as West Virginia earlier in the year, and that's given them some great experience to build off of.
Well, now switching gears a little bit, you've got the women's basketball team who's doing pretty well in their own right, too. Tied for second now in the league. Took on Valparaiso, their only game last week. Not a big victory, and this women's team is looking good, just like they were last year.
Well, we're all so focused on the men's team, myself included, covering the men for the Collegian, and here's the Butler women. They're sitting only a game and a half out of first in the Horizon League. And not just that, but just one loss out. Green Bay has really dominated all season. They've only lost 3 games overall, but those 3 games were recent losses in conference. So the Bulldogs women have a great opportunity still to win this regular season conference.
Well, what kind of players have you seen stepping up big for this team of late?
Well, definitely Melanie Thornton. We talk about Willie Veasley on the men's side. Melanie Thornton, a senior who a couple years ago only averaged about 3 points a game coming off the bench as a sophomore. Last year she averaged around 9 points a game and was named to the Horizon League first team all defense. And now she's averaging 15 points a game, leading the team in scoring. So you can just see those two are such great examples of how college basketball is not about the professional level. It's not about, well, where's your draft status going to be. It's not about the Tyreek Evans and the Derrick Roses. It's about developing. It's about cultivating yourself as a student and an athlete. And Veasley and Thornton are just wonderful examples.
Okay, and one quick thing before we wrap this up here. The men's basketball team will take on Siena in the Bracket Buster game that was announced. What do you think of Siena, the matchup? We kind of expected that, two big mid-major programs, a feature game for ESPN. What do you make of that matchup?
Well, the symmetry is remarkable. You look at Siena, they're 20-4 and 13-0 in conference. Wait, the Bulldogs are 20-4, 13-0 in conference as well. Both teams have obviously had a lot of success the last 2 seasons, or actually for Butler, it's been 3 seasons in the tournament, but Siena's won tournament games each of the last 2 seasons. They're going to pose a great threat. They're riding a 14-game winning streak, which is one of the longest in the country. They could come in here riding a 17-game winning streak. It's going to be a great test. But I temper that by saying that as much as you'd like to win the game, it really is a great opportunity for the Bulldogs, who are likely headed to the NCAA tournament, to receive a tournament-like test before it actually begins. The teams they've been playing lately are not exactly what I would characterize as tournament caliber. So it's going to be a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to not only prove themselves, but to gauge exactly where they are in preparation for a tournament run.
Well, that game on February 20th on Saturday afternoon here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. We look forward to that
11
one.
o'clock.
All right, well, we thank you for your analysis this week, Mike, and we appreciate you stopping by.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, that will do it for this conversation with Mike Ellis, Butler Collegiate sports writer. Stay with us on the Bulldog Blitz. More when we come back from break. This weekend, the Butler women's basketball team will take center stage at Hinkle Fieldhouse. On Thursday, they will take on Youngstown State at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, Cleveland State will come to Hinkle at 2 o'clock. It's also a special day for the women because it's the annual Think Pink Cancer Awareness Game. This year it is special because head coach Beth Kuchar was diagnosed with breast cancer in the spring of 2009. That will just about do it for the season premiere of the Bulldog Blitz. Make sure to catch us on Comcast On Demand or online at youtube.com/Bulldog Blitz Sports. Until then, I'm Mark Minner. We'll see you right back here on the Bulldog Blitz.